Hello, good evening. Good evening and welcome to our live stream. Waila, good evening, welcome. Thank you for joining. So we are starting straight. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Hello. We are starting straight. So, like I said, good evening, welcome. This is Stylish Naija here on YouTube. I am a fashion tutor here on YouTube. So, guys, we are starting our tutorial straight. Good evening. Hello, Wyla. Good evening. Bonnie, Emeka. Good evening. Chris Tabel. Thank you so much for joining. So we are starting straight. So let me show you guys what we are cutting today. So like I said, we don't have time to waste. Our live streams this year are going to be Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 7 p.m. sharp. If you see me coming late, maybe 5 minutes late, like 7:05, anything other than that. So this is what we are learning how to cut today. Is a deep plunging neck corset. Okay, so let's get started straight. So the first thing we are going to do, so my pattern paper is all set. I'm going to mark a shoulder line. The truth of the matter is that if you are following me here with in all this my pattern drafting class, it's just a matter of time. You are going to be very good. Not you, like I assure you, you will be very good in pattern drafting. You are not going to have any issues when it comes to drafting pattern. You just understand the whole mystery. If there's anything like mystery with pattern drafting, you understand it. So that is my goal, to make demystify pattern drafting for those people that think pattern drafting is a big deal. All right, so we have a shoulder line. So that's like our start line. So we'll mark it, you put your shoulder line. And then the next line we're going to mark is our bust point. And then we have our under bust. Our bust point is 10, our under bust is 13. Then the waist for this, we're not going to be adding a side dart. So I'll use 16.5, and then the full length of my corset is going to be 23. Okay, so it's going to be 23. Because of that, you can see that it has a curve. It has a curved hem, so that is why. So both the back and the front has the curve. So this is my bust point, which is 10 inches. That's from shoulder to this point is 10 inches. And then I have my under bust. From shoulder to this point is under bust, which is 13 inches. And then the next line we have is our waistline. From shoulder to the waistline, we are using 16.5. This is our waistline. And then our full length, we are using 23 inches. So this is our full length. Okay, so those are all of the measurements. So the measurements we are going to be using today, our bust is going to be 36, our under bust is 30, our waist is 34, and then the hem is 40. So those are the dimensions we're going to be making use of. So like I said, we're going to be drafting the back first. So if you can see, if you take a good look at it, let me zoom it in. This side, you can see the back of the corset. Can you see how the back of the corset looks? You can see how the back of the corset looks. Can you see the shape that it has at the back? See it? So that's what we are going to do now. So I want to try, let's draft out that back first. Okay, you can see the shape that it has there. Okay, so that is why I had to use the same measurement for the length. So our shoulder measurement is 14. So we divide 14 into 2. Shoulder is usually divided by 2. So that's 14, which shoulder 14 divide by 2. So we have 7. I'll add half inch for the allowance. And then from that point that I added the half inch, I'm going to come down by 1 inch. So this is what we call our shoulder slope for those people that are for beginners. So this is our shoulder slope. So the next measurement we want to measure. So normally we're just cutting it straight. We're cutting it normal, and then later we'll take out the top part. It is easier that way. So we're using half of our armhole. So for this, I'm just going to use 14 flat, divide by 2, which is 7. So for those of you that don't know how to calculate your armhole, you can divide your bust circumference by 6 and then add 1.5. So I'm just going to create a curve. That's after creating this, I'll mark a line. So this line is called our chest line. Okay. So after that chest line, the next thing, I'm just going to create a curve like this. So there are two ways of doing this. I can decide to measure my round, my bust circumference, that divide by 36 divided by 4, you see is 9. Can you see? It is 9. So you can see, so from that 9 point, you can just create a curve so it will stay. So for those of you that are just joining us, you're welcome. You guys should like this video, drop your message, say hello, say hi. So once I raise my head, I will greet all of you and thank all of you for joining. So just please drop your questions, just say hello on the chat for me. That would be nice. And then you can share it also. Okay, so the next thing we want to do now, we want to take out our full body measurement. This is the back. So our bust circumference is 36 divided by 4. We have 9. And then we're going to add 1 inch dart intake. We're going to snatch the waistline, okay? Note. So we'll add our 1 inch dart intake, and then we'll add, like, it's a corset, so we don't need much allowance. So I'm just going to add 1 inch allowance. Okay, so I'm going to come to this part, which is the under bust area. Our under bust is 30. We're going to divide that by 4 also. We have 7.5, and then we'll add our 1 inch dart and then 1 inch stitching allowance. And then I'm going to come to the waist, which is 34 divided by 4. We're going to mark it. It's going to be 8.5. You mark it here. And then we're going to add our dart intake of 1 inch and then our stitching allowance of 1 inch. Okay, so most times once um I always like to just connect them like this. I don't always like to wait. Okay, so the next thing, I'm going to come to my waist. That's the down part, the blouse hem, which is 40. You're going to divide that into 4 also. So you mark it 10, and then I'm going to add my 1 inch dart and 1 inch stitching allowance. Okay, so when I do that, the next thing here is what I am going to have. I'm just going to create a curve like this, and then just like create this like this. Okay, so you can see our blouse. The next thing we want to do, we want to take out our dart. Remember, we're using our 1 inch for the dart, but before we take out the dart, we need to create a line. Okay, so, and that line, what we're going to use our nipple to nipple. It's called the nipple to nipple, but normally or professionally it's called a bust span. So for that, I have 8 inches. So I'm going to divide that 8 inches into 2, and then I'm going to have 4 inches. So you can see what I am doing. I'm marking those 4 inches across the whole of my lines. Okay, I'm marking them across the whole of my lines. And then this chest line also, I'm going to increase this. That's, I'm going to elongate, just mark it straight. So that 4 inches, I'll mark it across all of those lines, and then I'm going to connect it to the straight ruler like this. Okay, so the next thing after that, for us to take out that dart, I'm going to take 1/2 inch to my right from the waist. Remember, we added 1 inch of the dart intake. Okay, and then 1/2 inch from this side. Okay, so the next thing, from this bust and point, I'm going to come down by 1.5 inches. Just put a mark there. The essence of this is because I want to use that line to gauge my dart. Can you see where I'm connecting it from this point to this point, and then from here I brought it down. Okay, and then from here also I'm just going to connect this, and then from here I'll bring that down. So that's the essence. So the next thing we want to do, we want to we want to snatch our waistline. So for us to snatch our waistline, it depends on how many inches. I think for this I'm just going to go with 3 inches. That's the entire corset. That's the waist that is 30. The waist is 34. Okay, so I think we should do 2 inches. So let's snatch the waist to be 30. Since our waist is 34, let's snatch it. Okay, for teaching sake, but normally if I'm doing for my clients, I wouldn't snatch more than 3 inches. You understand? We wouldn't snatch more than, at times if just 2 inches. So I wouldn't snatch more than that. So for this, so let's do the 3 inches. I don't like snatching too much. So let's do 3 inches. So for us to snatch our waistline with 3 inches, we're going to take out 1 inch from the front, 1.5 inch from the front, and then 1.5 inch from the back. If we want to snatch by 4 inches, we're going to take out 2 inches from the back and then 2 inches from the front. So that is how it is done. Okay, So for instance, okay, so let's go with the 4 inches since our waist is 34. So let's take out 4 inches. So the waist was reducing it to 30. So for us to do that, so we're taking out 2 inches from here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to check what I have here. I'm going to divide that into two. I'll mark it here like this. Okay, can you see? And then I am going to create a line. Can you see? So for this particular line, I can put it because of the, let's see, let's take a look again. Because of the nature of our corset, can you see? It has a lot of lines, okay? It has, you can see it's a Victorian corset. So for us to do that, so here's what I'm going to do. I am going to I'm just going to check this. So I want to take out 2 inches from this whole entire part. So what I'm going to do, the first thing, I will divide the waist here into two, like I've shared it into two equal half, and then I'm just going to mark it. I've not taken out any that, please note. And then I'm going to come to this side also. That's this back. I'm going to check what I have. I'll just divide this into two also. I'll divide this into two also, and then I am going to mark it. So if you notice, you can see that my markings are not straight. I deliberately did not mark them straight. Okay, so the next thing I want to do now, I want to take out that extra that. So we're taking 2 inches from here. In taking 2 inches, here is what I'm going to do. From this side, I am going to take out 1 inch. So I'll take half inch here and then half inch here. So that is 1 inch already. I will mark it like this. So snatching your waistline is basically taking out an extra that intake. Okay, so this is 1 inch out. So I'm left with half. So that half, I'm going to come to this side. I'll take out quarter of an inch here and then quarter of an inch here. And then I am going to take that out like this. Okay, so at the end of the day, I have succeeded in taking out. So now we have one. Okay, before then, we are adding, the back is going to be, we're going to add eyelet to it. So you can see my 2 inches. So these 2 inches, I'm going to cut this out. Okay, so I totally forgot about that. So once I cut, so let me cut first, and then we'll take that out. So I'm just going to take out that extra 2 inches for my corset back. So I'll just take that out. Okay, so since I'm taking that out, I'm still left with my half inch. So that half inch, I'm going to take it out from here now. Note. So just note what I am doing. Very, very important. So I'm going to take it out from here. So I've just take extra inches from the original first dart. So I'm just going to take that out that way. Okay, so the next thing I want to do now, I want to create the shape. So I want to create the shape. So you can see the side. You can see the side. So that's the back. We're just trying to flip it from there. So you can see that the side is the same. So the only part where it came up is here. That's this back, center back. Okay. So what we are going to do now, I'm just going to come to this part. I'll come up by 1 inch because I don't want it. So I'm just going to do this. Okay. So I'm just going to connect this first. Just connect this first, yes. So after connecting it, so the next thing I want to do now, I want to create that shape. So you can see that the back, it came up a little bit like this, okay? So now I'm going to come up here. This is the center back. I'm going to come up by, I can do 2 inches or 1.5. So I'm just going to take this like this, and then I'm going to blend it into this part. Can you see? Can you see the shape? I just want to show you guys. Just take a look at the back piece. That's the back one. You see the way the shape is. So blend into this part. Okay, so that's for the back. And then for the neckline of the back is just a round neckline. So we're going to blend that one. So for that back neckline, If we want it to come down more, we can just do 8.5. So let's just do 8.5. So I'll mark the 8.5 here, and then here like this, I am just going to create like a curve, just like blend that like that. Okay, so that's all for our back piece. So I'm going to cut this. So this particular pattern we are doing, this is an advanced, it is advanced sewing. Oh, please, beginners, Rico. So I decided to cut this. People know that I'm trying to save my pattern paper. So this is the, so this is the back. So you can see what we have. So now you're just going to label this. We have 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's it. So the next thing, we are going to draft our front pattern. Okay, so for that front pattern, you can do it in two ways. The middle, you can decide to open the middle, you can decide not to open the midpoint. Okay, I'm just trying to check. You can decide to open it, you can decide not to open it. So you guys should please like this video, give this video a thumbs up. I would appreciate that. So now we're starting all over. I'm drafting our front, our shoulder line. So this is our shoulder line, and then from the shoulder line we're going to mark 10 inches for our, I'm just trying to make sure. So we're going to mark 10 inches. So 10 inches is our bust point, and then we have 13 inches as our under bust. We have 16.5 inches as our waist, and then we have 20. So we're going to use 23 inches for the hem. Okay, so now we are going to connect those lines together. So this is our bust point, shoulder to bust is 10, and then this is our under bust, shoulder to under bust is 13, under bust, then shoulder to waist is 16.5. This is our waistline, and then we have 23 inches, which is our hem. That's the full blouse length. Okay, we call that blouse length or the hem. So the next thing, so if you have questions, you can drop your questions. So the measurements we're going to be using, our bust is 36, under bust is 30, the waist is 34, and then the hem is 40. So those are the dimensions we are making use of. The next thing, I'm going to come to this part, I'm going to mark my shoulder measurement, which I told you guys before, 14 divided by 2 would got, I'll add half inch, and then from that half inch I'm just going to come down by 1 inch, and then I would connect that, I'll connect it to the shoulder line like that. The next thing, we want to mark our round armhole. So for this, I'm going to be making use of 7 inches. So you divide your shoulder, your bust circumference into 6, and then plus 1.5. Okay, so I have 7 inches. Normally it's supposed to be 7.5, but I am just going to use 7 inches. I want to take out half inch from it. So I'm just going to connect this. So this is my chest line, and then I am going to create a curve. So you all know that this curve is not necessary for this Victorian corset. Okay, I am just adding it. It actually is not necessary. So the next thing, now we want to mark out our bustier. So we're using the same measurement we used earlier, which is for our bust span of 8 inches divided by 2. We've got 4 inches. So those 4 inches, we're just going to mark across all of those lines that I showed you guys earlier, and then we'll connect them like this with a straight ruler. So I'm just going to do this. I'll connect them with a straight ruler. The next thing we are going to do, we want to take out our dart. Okay, so for our dart intake, for this dart intake, I am trying to check, I am going to take out 3 inches for my dart. Okay, so that 3 inches for my dart, I'm just going to take 2 inches from my underbust. I'll take 2 inches to my right hand side, and then I'm going to take 1 inch to the left. Okay, so for this, if you notice, you can see that our dart is not straight. So now where the magana dey with that. So for this, here is what we are going to have. Okay, our our darts are not straight, so you can see I'm just going to mark them like this, okay? And then from this point, I am going to connect this to my bust point to get that curve, okay? So after that, I'm going to place the second one also. I'll connect this one also, okay? So can you see? We have connected, we have marked it, okay? So the next thing we want to do now, so let's just blend these ones together. We want to tighten that chest area. So for us to tighten that chest area, here is what we are going to do. Can you see how high this part is? Can you see this part? So you need it, that armhole side, like that part. So for us to get that part, we are going to come like this. I'm to mark 5 inches. So this is 5 inches. I'll mark 5 inches, and then I am going to connect. I'm just going to close this 5 inches, and then I'll extend this line, okay? So now we want to tighten that part. So for this, I'm going to use 0.75. So I'm going, so 0.5, this is half inches. 0.75 is this line here, this long line here. For those of you that don't know how to read tape. So I'm just going to mark it here, and then I'll place it here also. I'll mark it here. Okay, so after marking that, I am going to use my ruler. You people know that I can use any of the rulers, so I'm just, anyone you have, you can use it, any of the pattern masters. So I'm just going to connect this, just create a beautiful curve to meet this point, and then from here also I'll create a beautiful curve. Yes, I'm just going to create a beautiful curve like that. So the next thing we want to do, we want to create this depth. Can you see? That depth is depthing, like it's really deep. So this is our under bust. So that depth, you can see it is around the under bust. Can you see? This is the under bust line. Can you see? So it came to this point, okay? So it is a simple process, okay? So it's a simple process. So from here, we're going to create this like this, and then from here, we're going to create this like this, okay? So when you join this together, you're going to have that, okay? It's a simple process. So let's make use of our pencil. So this is where we are going to. So you can, if you notice, you see that the top part is a little bit wide. So you can check and see how wide you want this to be. So most times what I normally do, I normally just freehand, just like freehand it first. Okay, just freehand it. Just gonna freehand it first, and then make sure that everything that I have done is okay. And then this one, I am going to freehand this one into my armhole like that. So that is how it is, okay? I'm just going to blend it, okay? So now the next thing I want to do, I want this part, I don't want it to get truncated. So I'm going to check between here and here and here and here. So I'm just going to place my tape like this. I will check and make sure that what I have, it is the same. So I'm just going to place it. I use a point like this so you can see. So when I did it, I noticed this. So when I did this, I noticed this. You can see. So that is it. Another way, there's actually another way to do that. Okay, so I'm just going to extend this a little bit so it does not get truncated. So that is why. So another way for me to do that is that I'm just going to close here like this. Can you see? You see now? Can you see? You see that they are equal because I measured it. So the other option for you to do this, you can just close here and just blend both of them together. That's another option, okay? So that's okay. So I'm just to clean all of these other ones. So that is why when you are drafting patterns, make sure you have your pencil. Most times, if normally when you're drafting pattern, use pencil. This one is because I'm teaching, so that is why I'm using a marker just to make sure that it is visible. So that's it. So the next thing we want to do now, The next thing we want to do, we want to divide. So for this center, we want to create a line here. So you can see that our middle has just one line here, like this. Okay, so for that one line, like I said, we can decide to open. You see my pattern is already one. So for that one line, we can decide to cut it open. That's when you are cutting your pattern. You can place it open, stitch it, join it. And I think most times it's always even better for you to do it that way, because that is what will help your to curve very well. That's, make sure you open it here and then you sew it together. It will give your V a better fit. Okay, so that's for that. So the next one we want to do now, we want to create our dart. So for this, I'm going to be curving my dart. So I'm going to be coming from this point like this, from this top point like this, so you can see. So I just want to show you. Can you see? So I'm just going to curve my dart. So let me use my pencil a bit. So that what I don't like, I can always clean it. So I'm just going to take it like this, and then I'm just going to mark it like this. Okay. So I just want to check it first before I continue, before I take my full body measurement. So I'm just going to, if you notice it is not straight, please note it is not straight. So remember, we're taking out 2 inches from here, right? So note. So the next thing I want to do, I want to take out my full body measurement. So let me take out my full body measurement first before I snatch the waistline. So for the full body measurement, I'm using 36 divided by 4, which is 9. You can see it here. And then I'm going to add my 3 inches for my dart, and then just 1 inch stitching allowance. Note, I'll just blend this together. Okay. And then I'm going to come to my under bust. I'm using 30 divided by 4, which is 7.5. Remember, my under bust is, my dart is 3 inches intake, and then just 1 inch stitching allowance. So I'm just going to connect those lines together like this. And then the next thing, my waist is 34. My waist is 34 divided by 4, which is 8.5. And then I'll add mine. So here at this point, it has reduced. Note, please note, it has reduced to 2 inches. So I'm just going to bring that 2 inches back, and then 1 inch stitching allowance. And then for this down part, I am using 40 divided by 4, which is 10. So I'm just going to take half inch out because of this point. Okay, so that's what that would be the that for that down part. And then I'm going to add my stitching allowance. So I'm just going to connect lines together like that. So the next thing, now let's take our shape. So for the shape, I am just going to come up. So for this, I'm going to come up like 2.5 inches. No, not 2.5 inches. If you notice it, you can see it is sitting on the thigh. So I'm just going to come up like 2 inches. So I'm just going to mark my 2 inches. So I'll use my pencil. So from here now, so my 2 inches here. So here is what I am going to do. So note, you can see what I'm doing. So I'm trying to get this part to be a little bit elongated. So in order for me to do that, I'm just going to go up a little bit more. So that is why it is always good for me to use my what do you call it, pencil, to do that. Okay, it's good for me to use my pencil to do that. So what I just saw now, this down part, I'm going to extend my lines in order for me to be able to achieve it. So I'm just going to extend this line. So I'll extend it down. So that is why it is good for you to, that's why pattern drafting is good. Like you hear people say, I used to hear most of my colleagues, they'll tell you that it's not all styles you can use fringe to do, and that is just the truth. Okay, so that is just the truth. So this part is going to come like this, and then, sorry, it's going to come like this. So this is the V part. Let's see this part. So you're just going to bring it like this, okay? And then when you get to this point here, we have our dart here. You're going to bring it back down. So that's it. You're going to bring, so this part, that part is negligible. You're going to bring it back like this. So that's the shape. Okay, so now we are done with the shape of the down part. So the good thing with pattern drafting is, well, at the end of the day, when you cut it, if it is not, you have to redraft your pattern again. You're not doing it on your real fabric. So that is why it's good for you to learn how to draft your patterns. It's very good. So the next thing, I'm going to come to this part. I'm going to check what I have. I'll divide this into two, and then I am going to mark it like this. So I just want to check. I want to double check. I have one. I already have this line. This is one. Okay, so this one now that I'm marking now is this one. So I'm just going to come to this point like this, and then I am going to mark it like this. Okay, so I'll mark it down, and then I am going to take out my dart now, my extra dart. So I'm using 1 inch on this side. So I'll divide that into two, and then that's half inches, just like we did with our back pattern. Okay, and then I'll mark it, and then the next thing, I have half inch left. So that half inch, I can take quarter on this side and then quarter on this side. So like I said, this you can decide not to cut the center of your front, but I would advise for you to cut the center of your front. Why? Because that is what will bring out the shape of that neckline. Okay, so you can see the way the front is. So I'm just trying to cut it like this first. So in case you want to add a yoke to it, you can, this style, you can actually turn it to a yoke. Like if you want to add a yoke, so you can use this for your plunging yoke. Okay, so this is our front pattern. So I'm just going to cut this out like this. So for this one, you have to label it, or else if you don't label it properly, you are going to get into great trouble. So you have to label it. So let's go. So we have one, two, three, four. So you have to label it very well. So can you see the way I'm cutting them? They are so slim. You understand? Because it is a Victorian corset. They are so slim. So I'm just trying to cut out. So all of you that tuned into our live stream for tonight, God bless you all for joining. God bless you all for joining. So I'm just going to raise my head now and try as much as I can to read the comments. Okay, so I'm just trying to cut my leg. I'm tired. I'm tired. So I'm just going to keep this on the side. So these are all of our patterns. So this is our front pattern, and then our back pattern. So that's our back pattern. So let me just see what we have. And let me just greet all the people that tuned in tonight into our live stream before I go. Aqua Mary, good evening. Thomas, progress, thank you so much. He Brown, Elliot Brown, thank you so much. uh Ladun, he said I should explain the bus part again. Which part? Oh, I'm coming to Lu. Thank you so much. Eva Mbatufulu, thank you so much. Ladun, good evening. Mami Land, thank you so much. Christabel Leon, thank you so much. Aboni Emeka, thank you. Waila. Okay, so the person that was asking for me to explain the bus part, God, I didn't even know when that message dropped. I didn't know when that message dropped. Which of the bus part? Which of the bus part? If the person is still on the stream, can you please say it? Let me see if I can explain it. Which of the bus part? So the bus part. Let's see. Okay. I wish I saw that question earlier. It would have been easier. Yeah. So for the bus part, if it is this plunging part, like I said, if it is this part, this over bus tightening, so I use 0.75 to do the tightening. Then from that part and then curved it in. So like I said, when you after drafting, after marking it, make sure you check between here and here, and then check between here and here. Okay, let's see. Make sure you check between here and here. Make sure that they are the same. If not, if they are not the same, when you stitch it together, when you sew it, one will get truncated. So you have to check it to make sure that they are the same before you cut it. Okay. So I hope that was your question. So I just want to say thank you to all of you that tuned in. So tomorrow is Wednesday. I will not be coming up. The next time I'm going to be coming up by God's grace is going to be on Thursday and Friday. So those are the remaining days for this week. So I just want to say thank you, all of you that tuned in tonight into our live stream. God bless you all for joining. I'll see you guys on Thursday, 7 p.m. sharp. God bless you all.